Yep.
Man. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Thursday night. So you know what that means? We're going to the city. What city, you may ask? Suplex City. This is another Suplex City chat right here with myself, the host with the most, Matty G. We got Little Warrior sitting here with me. We got definitely a stacked panel of, people all around the wrestling world. I'll just go around the circle and give a too sweet to the man, the villain himself, Mr. Haven. What up, homie?
I'm chilling. You know me. It was it was a good week of wrestling. A lot of good stuff to talk about this week.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of good stuff that happened this week. There's kind of a little bit of mediocre stuff, and there's some heartbreaking stuff we got to cover tonight. And we'll drop down below you, give another too sweet to the man, the myth, the legend, the Painmaker himself, Mr. Ryan Payne. What's up, homie?
What's going on? Yeah, I agree that this was a good week of wrestling. Nothing too boring, but I was entertained enough to where I don't have as many complaints. So I can't wait to get started.
Holy shit! You mean you've got a whole week? We've gone almost 2 weeks worth of wrestling, and you don't have that many complaints? Holy shit! But we'll get into that. Let's drop down to the man below us. Give another too sweet to the man, the myth, the legend, JB3. What is up, dog?
Yo, that Hot Pocket was so good. I'm just saying. I apologize. I didn't eat dinner. So.
Hey, aside, we've all eaten on camera once or twice.
It is time to talk about some wrestling. I want to talk about some wrestling. We got a lot to talk about, but
yes, we do. Before we go too far, let's take a second. We got two people. We gotta take a moment of silence. The first one we all may get a little laugh out of. R.I.P. Vanguard. We love you. You were a part of the elite. You'll never be forgotten. But for real, let's all take a moment and just kind of have a moment of silence for Shad Gaspard. All right, guys. R.I.P. brother. You died a hero. Coming as a parent myself, there's nothing I would do to protect my child. That I do everything in the world to protect my child. So to hear that he went out with the Coast Guard right there and said, "No, save my kids," really, kind of hits me in the feels. Anybody else got anything they really want to say on that?
No, right there with you, man.
Just another too sweet to him.
Yep. Yeah, he was a great man. It's a weird week for that to happen because we have the Owen Hart Dark Side of the Ring episode. Another and then there was the guy who went too early, and it's just it's always tough to hear. It's always tough to hear, man. These times come, but he's got his family. Much love to his family. All the thoughts and prayers go to them, and I hope they're getting all the love and support because a lot of times when things like this happen in wrestling, some of the families get left behind and they get forgotten, and I don't think that should happen.
Definitely. Speaking the Owen Hart thing, I watched that the other night, and it's heartbreaking because we all know the story is wrestling fans, we all know the story, but just to see when she pulled out that clip, it's like he died because of something that big.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but gentlemen, I do want maybe one of these nights here pretty soon we'll go back and we'll just go live one more time and we'll discuss that because that could be just a couple hour thing right there. So last week we kind of jumped off and cut off.
Matt, Ryan wanted to say something about Shad.
Oh, my bad.
No. I was going to pretty much say that, yeah, Matt, you covered everything there. I mean, what the situation, the circumstances, what Shad did was something out of real fatherly instinct. And as much as his situation is a true tragedy, especially when it comes to just a situation with nature in the beaches alone. As someone who lives in California, near beaches, the idea of being caught into a riptide is a very, very, very scary notion. While it doesn't stop me from wanting to hang out with friends and family at beaches, though, but at the same time, when I know people who are surfers or who like to go to certain spots to surf, whenever I don't hear from them the next day or like it takes them a while, I always jump to the worst. Like, oh my God, what happened to them? And what happened with Shad is definitely a true tragedy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right.
Look at his picture.
So, alrighty. Last week we kind of cut off a little early because I was sick. JB3 had somewhere to jump to, and of course Hunter hadn't seen NXT and AEW. So let's quickly jump through the last 2 weeks of NXT. Anything really? Because I know, Ryan, you want to talk about something from 2 weeks ago. Then we'll hop real quickly into this week, and then we'll hit probably my favorite 2 episodes of wrestling in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I just want to quickly jump onto last week of NXT, the unfortunate split of Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher, with leading to Imperium becoming NXT Tag Champs. But then later in the night, he and Riddle and Thatcher end up putting on one hell of a physical fight between each other, which this definitely not only cements Thatcher as a hard bruiser, like a hard brawler as a wrestler, but at the same time, it kind of shows you that as much as I was starting to, because I didn't know much about Thatcher when he showed up as Pete Dunne's replacement. So when he's being this like slight babyface, I thought, oh, he's gonna mimic Dunne, but then you see him as a heel. Man, this dude, he's vicious, and he definitely gives you that I'm going to kill you look. Especially after the night when he just kept putting that arm bar onto Matt Riddle. How he just kept torquing and wrenching at Riddle. And as I was not a fan of the camera. Oh, go ahead, JV. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just saying the way he looked in the camera.
Yeah.
Just adding to what you said, the way he looked in that camera right after that.
He had that look in his eyes that you just knew he was straight up savage. And yeah, and that's definitely the way that armbar looked is definitely gonna be something I want to bring up a little later with somebody else. But yeah, no, that was definitely just savage. I like the fact that he's gone heel and he's this bruiser, kind of like a Bobby Lashley almost. This just kind of I'm gonna run through, kind of big bodied. As people put it, Vince's hot, sweaty man, That's some good shit there. I can just hear Vince McMahon in the background. Good shit, man.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. Also, that was definitely the best match that NXT had last week. I if I have to guess, because I was surprised they took the belts off them that quickly. For the turn to come that quickly, and then for them to have a match. I was like, maybe with all the stuff lifting, maybe Pete Dunne is going to be clear to come back soon. So maybe that, Matt Riddle will have the feud now with this guy Thatcher. And then after that, Matt Riddle will come back and they'll probably go for the gold again, because they didn't really get a chance to really thrive as champions, because those guys were gelling really well together.
I agree. Yeah. They definitely gelled well together, and it shows in the match that they actually had together. I mean, yeah, I get it with Smarks, but they got really good chemistry. And I mean Timothy Thatcher, but also Pete Dunne. I think they gel great as a team, but Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle, I want to see them go again, man. They were going hard. And jump into this week NXT, they had 2 promos that they cut, and it's leading to the match. They're going to have a match at TakeOver.
Yeah, both
in your house. I am excited about that. I got to bring that up real quick. Growing up in the golden era through the Attitude Era. Sorry, cat got in the room. I grew up watching the In Your House episodes, so I'm really curious to see. Yes, even In Your House DX takeover. I'm kind of curious to see where they go with it, because in my opinion, sometimes the the takeover is better than the main show?
You're not wrong, and it has proven on occasion takeovers have done not only better amongst wrestling fans, but also better amongst just. I mean, even though critics won't count, but critics have scored takeover shows much better than Raw shows because of the blocking, the action, the audience participation that's gone through, and sometimes the booking itself. Sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it doesn't. But I kind of think takeover will. The In Your House, I think it's going to be something uniquely different. Maybe not as much, but it's going to be something different.
It's going to be fucking trash. Man, it's going to be In Your House. Like, I was alive when they were doing In Your House pay-per-views. Maybe some of y'all were still in diapers. Man, name me 3 great In Your House pay-per-views. Y'all can't even name 3 that were, maybe you could think of. Because they had them like every month. They had In Your House and they had a stupid name. And a lot of them were forgettable. They're gonna have the stage look like In Your House, and it's just trying to bring that dumb shit back, to try to be cool. But it's just not cool. In Your House was forgettable as hell as pay-per-views went.
No, you're right, bro. You're right. And the only good ones was towards the end when they didn't even really name them In Your House anymore. They had the other little side names.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I agree, but it's kind of a nostalgia thing, I grew up watching those with my mom and my grandma, and now I'm gonna watch it with my kids. So it's kind of a nostalgia thing. That's the way I'm looking at it.
It just depends how they present it. That's all.
But Triple H knows how to build a card. And talking about building things up, I want to talk about Karrion Kross or Killer Kross. We were talking off camera, and Ryan kind of said he's tired of seeing him with the squash matches. But I think what they're doing with him is the same thing that they're going to do with Lance Archer. They're going to have him run through everybody, and then they're going to plop the belt on him. Spoiler for something we got to talk about later. But I think
I'm glad you brought that comparison up, though. That's one of the reasons why I was hoping Karrion would be a little different, because since NXT and AEW are right next to each other, I figured they tried to at least see Lance Archer squashing people. You see Brody Lee squashing people. I was hoping with Karrion he would be different compared to that. Maybe have 1 or 2 squash matches, but every now and then he'll go up against someone like Danny Burch or Orton Logan to put on like a really physical match.
Well, you got to give him a chance. But I'll say this, bro. Look, I agree with the villain. I don't see the big deal. And there's something missing. I watched the matches, okay? So this is what you got. You got this man, and you got this entrance that's like freaking crazy, right?
Easy.
Okay. And then he comes in there and he hits, he hits two suplexes and then puts in that mode. You know what I'm saying? And then Bad Blood was good. They kept it for a couple more. But yeah, and then in the second match, he like did the same suplexes and then the little submission hold. And for some reason, to me, he needs to strike more. To me, he needs to strike more. And he needs some strikes. Like his squash matches don't even work for me because it's just suplexes. Why don't he hit some? Want to do some of that. But we'll see.
I have to say, like, Ryan, he's only had 2 matches. Like, you act like he had 10 already. Like, you literally complaining about the guy having 2 matches. And right now, with the stuff going on, maybe they don't have their full roster. Like, who do you want him to beat right now that we've seen on NXT TV in the last month? Like, you want him to fight guys that are on NXT, but, some of those guys aren't really there. That's why you see the same guys, most of the time. Like, they're bringing in new people now, but you got to give it time because, like, I can't think of anybody I want him to face right now and beat, because
Danny Burch and Tony Lorcan, those two are very physical wrestlers, and I've seen the matches when they've had matches against Aleister Black, Andrade, Drew McIntyre when he was in NXT. I mean, Drew McIntyre was able to bust Tony Lorcan.
We're not talking about Drew McIntyre. Like, you just love, like, dude, we're talking about Kross. He's had 2 dominant matches, and I agree that, I don't really like the whole fact that the formula is like, 1 or 2 moves, maybe 3 moves, win the match. I don't really like that because you're going to hit a wall doing that with a lot of the guys, and a lot of the companies right now are doing that with multiple guys. And then I can see what Ryan's saying, because then who he's going to fight next? How he's going to have a 10-minute match when he just had a 1-minute match? So I could see that happening. But I think he will have, his first major feud against Tommaso Ciampa, and we'll see that at the pay-per-view, brother.
I do not doubt that, and you are right. That was like 2 matches. I assumed he had other matches, but that's just because I'm not following NXT, so that's on me. That's definitely on me.
Yeah, it's on you.
Yeah, I'm just saying that. It's just I guess it's just my high expectations for Cross. That's all. Because I've seen him in some independents. I've seen him in Impact, Ring of Honor, even in some like independent stuff like with Zell Pro, or whenever he's with Scarlett Bordeaux, and whenever show up at different companies. So it's just those stupid situations where my expectations are building up. I'm making a mountain out of a molehill. I get that. It's just
hey, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. They need to cut that lip singing too, man. That needs to stop.
That's weird. That is some weird shit. Like, I don't get it. It's like, okay.
It's different, though. It's his lady that's doing it. I mean, if he was doing it, then that'd be weird. But it's his lady going crazy. So it's like, yeah. It's just a, it's like
weird to me, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, that's when she was lip singing. The moment she ducks after she does on prey, it immediately shoots her across, just like popped up right from behind her. That was good camera work there. And so I get it. It can't be a constant thing, but it was just like, for right now, for these 2 matches, it seems to be good.
Yeah. Like I said, I like the difference in the nuance of the singing, because usually when you see a manager come out, they're looking tough, or trying to be serious. They might shoot off to the crowd if they're like Bobby Heenan. So her doing lip singing is unique and different. It just kind of adds to it. I don't mind, because I like my action in the ring. So to me, I could take it or leave it.
I mean, I feel that. I just wish she really sang.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's weird is if they're gonna go with it, make it even put like one of those fake mics on her where it looks like she's singing. But this is also, they're running on a skeleton crew thanks to the coronavirus. So I mean, let's give it a couple of weeks and see where it goes.
The real skill will be once they start getting crowds in there, once they start getting people. Then we'll see how far.
I think he's gonna go over. He is gonna.
No, I meant the entrance that you're talking about.
No. I know. But I bet money that once crowds come back and they can see him, he is going to be like Jericho. He is going to be so over. I guarantee. Oh, you don't think so?
I think that his shit is gonna go crazy once they get to the pay-per-view and they have some crowd. I don't know how much crowd they'll have, but if they have some crowd at the pay-per-view and they have a group come, sing his song for him when he comes out, maybe some flames, and shit, and they rocking out, singing the song, and him and his lady come out, I think that's gonna be a hell of an entrance.
See, now, I'm all game for that. I just want someone to sing for real.
Yeah.
Technically, in the music, I think she does sing some of the music. It's just, she's lip syncing. That's all.
Hey, you know who sings their own music? You know who sings their own music? Chris Jericho.
No.
Big Show. Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, Big Show.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, AEW.
All right, JB3, you had some booking and so forth you want to do. My man, you have the floor.
Some booking.
Well, you said you've got a whole theory about everything. You said you want the floor when it comes to this. So the floor is yours, my man.
This time it wasn't a theory. I'm sorry. I apologize if I misled you. It was a rant. I just wanted to rant.
Okay, well, you've got a rant. Again,
I did.
The floor is yours.
I did. I did, bro. I did. It's a stupid thing, and man, I want something from her voice.
Oh, that was it. I was like, because when you said Ransom, one of my shows, I expect it would be like on After Dark one night, Matt Beer went on like a 10-minute tirade of why eating a bat will cause a pandemic and will fuck the whole world up. So when you said you had a rant or a theory, I was like, get ready to sit back and enjoy this. But no,
just wait till you get into AEW and we'll see what we can come up with.
Well, okay. Is there anything NXT else related? I think him and Ciampa, I think Killer Cross and Ciampa are going to have the hell of it. I think they should have just a knockdown, drag out fight, which.
You know what? I was never going to do a rant about this situation, and this is going to be about one match that happened on NXT and a finish not happy with, but it's clear where the end result's going to be. That was Rhea versus Io tonight, and how the whole match.
I was just gonna let that go, but go ahead, because I think I got a feeling
towards Flair. And look, here's the thing: I have personally nothing against Charlotte. I've seen her matches, and she can put on performances. I am not a fan of how she has been booked last year and this year to be. I understand she's a Flair. She needs to be a monster. She needs to be a top star. I'm just going that there just needs to be some give and take with Charlotte Flair. And I thought she was mainly going to be on NXT, and then reports saying that she's now going to be appearing on all 3 shows. I think that's overtaxing. She should mainly be going to NXT since she's the champion there. She should go there to pretty much as a Flair, dominate, and most likely set up a very great contender, which could have been either Ripley or Io. But the fact that they're going to spread her out on 3 different shows is I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. My biggest problem with Charlotte was the fact that she was always booked to always win major events, but then not get anything afterwards. So I thought with her, so when she won the NXT title, I thought, okay, we're having a change of pace here. She's going to be on NXT to be an obstacle for the NXT women's division, to be that, to be the guard, to be that gatekeeper to see if these women are ready to go to the main roster. And all Charlotte has done in her matches on NXT, for the 2 ones, she has done DQ finishes both times. Oh no,
she's a heel, man. She's a fucking heel, dude.
I'm sorry.
There's something significant about the DQ against Io Shirai, the kendo stick. That was a symbol. That was symbolism in its finest. It's probably Triple H. She was putting Io over on the same level as Ronda Rousey, because when she faced Ronda Rousey, she couldn't beat Ronda Rousey, so she took the cheap way out by hitting her with a kendo stick and beating the crap out of her. Same thing with Io. She couldn't beat Io, so she got discouraged, got that kendo, destroyed her, right? Just wanted to throw that out there. That was symbolism.
I wouldn't say discouraged, but you know what? Since we're going to talk about Ryan's point, if I may, for a little bit, Ryan got to understand that Charlotte is the best wrestler WWE has at the moment. She's, Becky Lynch is gone, so and Ronda ain't coming back no time soon. She is the face of the women's divisions. She could show up on Raw. She showed up on SmackDown, yeah, but she is what she is. They put her in that position. And she's the NXT champion, and I think they're going to build up to a 3-way at in your house. So I'm not mad at it. They got to build story. So if she has to cheat to win, she's playing a heel right now. She's not playing a face. So she don't have to fucking fight matches. She's a champion. She could. The rule is, for a championship, you only have to defend it like a month, unless you're Brock Lesnar. So we're not going to talk about that. We'll be here for another hour. But she is established. And she is the most prestige female wrestler WWE has right now, So I think they're doing fine, because NXT has great talent, and she might wrestle some more, different women there. But I think at the pay-per-view, they're probably going to build up to maybe have a 3-way match between all 3 of them and have a nice 20-minute classic, bro. And when that does happen, you're going to be looking like fucking what the hell's his name? Kyle's father from South Park. You're going to be like, and you cheer like, after the match is done. You gotta let this stuff flush out, man. Like, like Charlotte, to me, I don't mind Charlotte,
Well, see, and what I think it is, too, is the fact that at the time, Rhea Ripley, when she dropped the title to Rhea Ripley, Rhea was having green card issues. Her visa had expired, so she couldn't work legally in the States. and she was having to get that fixed. So I think because of that, they dropped the title to her, and then probably at In Your House or whatever, she'll probably drop the title back to Rhea or Lee, and they'll just keep going.
To me, it's Io's time. It's not that she needs it. It's just that Io, she came close last year to leaving the company because of reports that she was unhappy. Like, she could have waited out her contract and then, left the company, but she decided to come back. So I'm thinking with Io, especially given from when there were still live crowds at takeovers, she got the most pop out of any women's superstar. I mean, look back at the War Games. When she appeared, the whole crowd chanted her name, especially throughout most of the match. And look, I can come around to Charlotte, no problem. The way I just want her to be on NXT and have her be booked as a dominating competitor in her match against Mia, as we saw. It's just that it can get stale if she's on all three shows. That's all. I mean, Haven, you're right. I could be wrong once In Your House happens. I hope to be wrong. I don't know. I'm just get tired of the constant booking and everything I'm seeing at WWE. It's one of the reasons why I'm not watching NXT a lot. It's why I'm not watching Raw and SmackDown every week now. I will mostly jump to highlights sometimes. When it's interesting, I will watch it. Not like AEW now where I'm watching every week.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We should probably start here soon. I'm ready to talk about AEW because I remember what my theory is, and I'll let you know when it's time for it, Matt.
Well, let's do that then. You know what? Let's just hop right over into the world of AEW. So, like we saw at the beginning of the show, let's just drop this right now. Rest in peace, Vanguard. Because that's kind of in that 2 weeks ago, basically what we really didn't talk about was that street fight between. No, 2 weeks ago was the death of Vanguard. I just like the fact that when Vanguard came out to Jericho, he still had the shirt, because I thought it had been burned, but he's like, I still got this. And I kind of like how they're playing towards the possibility of like Sting appearing,
We'll see.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think Sting is officially done, just like Ric Flair. But you never know.
I mean, only one thing's for certain. There's only one thing that's for certain, and that's nothing's for certain.
Exactly, especially in AEW. So I kind of
backstage role if you ever go to AEW.
Yeah, I got to chime in on this whole Sting thing. That came out of left field, but I got to catch that fucking ball. I'm in the game. Sting, he never needed the money. He only wrestled in TNA, at the time because he still felt passionate and they had a good group of guys there, and he felt like he had to give. And then when he came to WWE, it was unfortunate, but he was older now, so I don't know if he does show up. He might just show up like. I don't think he's going to be wrestling, but they're doing a lot of good stuff with veterans there that we haven't seen in any company use. And that's why I got to give AEW praises when they bring veterans in. It's not like any other company because Impact used to bring veterans in, ECW when they were around, try to do that shit, and it's just the way they're doing it. Like I could see Sting doing something there, if he chooses to. That would be fucking awesome.
Sting and Darby Allin teaming up would be really cool. I think that could have a hell of a run.
Yeah, I do like that pairing though. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Sting just shows up just so he can have a role in backstage, help with Cody and the others when it comes with handling with talent, or hell, like if he's given the role of maybe being like one of the I don't know, as Tony Khan's representative or so, whenever it comes with the head honcho or so. I know it's clear it's the Bucks and Cody, but I'm just saying in this situation. I mean, Sting could pretty much if he does go AEW, he can almost have carte blanche to maybe sign him to whoever he wants. Maybe be part of commentary. Hell, he could just maybe choose one or two storylines or a few wrestlers to involve himself with. The sky's the limit if he ever decides to go there.
That's true.
It really is. I'm saving a picture real quick because there's something I want to give a shout out from, because we all know he watches it, to my boy, Sammy Guevara. That dude has sold everything, and I love the way he is just straight up like he has been like a serious just player for the whole time. Because I mean, look at this. This is just like he looks like pure terror right there. Like hell, it looks like Matt Hardy's trying to rip into his head, and is just or when he took the twist of fate last week, where he just straight up went forward and over. And,
Dude's crazy. Dude's crazy.
He is getting personally to becoming one of my favorite AEW wrestlers, even though he's almost a glorified jobber. Like,
I mean,
he still wins matches on Dark.
Yeah, he has won matches outside the company. When he signed with AEW, he was at the time a AAA champion. So I can understand how he has lost matches and how he could be seen as a jobber, but at the same time, they're still prompting like this match against Matt.
He is not a jobber.
No. I use the word jobber because if you see recently, when he wins, he's with Jericho. But
he's what Randy Orton was to Evolution.
There you go.
I think he's better in a way because Sammy Guevara, he knows.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. From Orton was, but
he could sell better than Randy Orton could. Randy Orton had the safe hands, but Guevara can sell.
Guevara.
Yeah. I think that he's gonna be in a few years. He's gonna be on top. Right? Yeah. Maybe in the heel role, or even he could probably do any. He could probably go back and forth.
Yeah, he's a great accomplishment for AEW. You know, like to me, like he's the MVP in there. You know, for that league to be in there for 1 year because the company just celebrated their first year. I think a couple of days ago. And yeah, he sells like a champ, and you know, being a part of the inner circle was a blessing because he gets more screen time. He's fighting more matches than anybody else in the inner circle. I kind of wish the other three members, Pride and Powerful and Jake, would fight more, and they could be more dominant and do stuff. I know we're going to talk about the pay-per-view match, but Sammy's just like he's just an unsung hero there, man. And I'm glad that I know him, from watching AEW. Like I found him through AEW, and then it was great to see him on the Jericho Cruise. He was a cool fucking dude, man. So yeah, he's killing it, man. He's killing it.
His vlogs, whenever he does his vlogs after when he's taking a big move, man, just the way his character is, like his vlogs kind of works into some storylines with AEW because there's how AEW storylines. You have to they'll have Dynamite, then they'll have it like a follow up. They'll either have it on Dark, and then of course with BTE being the Elite, you have to see some of their storylines there because they'll bleed into the shows. And now Sammy Guevara is using his vlog as a way to help build storylines outside of Dynamite. So whenever he does come back on and he takes another like super kick to the face that he sells like $1 million or a twist of fate, or hell, gets run over by another golf cart, I mean, he'll be right. You'll expect to see him on his vlog again talking about how the hell that hurt him.
Yeah, I kind of like Jacob's idea. That could be it could happen. I'd like
they got a pinfall win over Kenny Omega.
Yes,
they do. And I like the fact that I gotta give JR and Tony Schiavone credit this week because they kind of planted a seed with me that I wasn't sure about. The fact that we hadn't seen the Bucks or Kenny or Hangman Page since it started, and up here I'm like, he's right. We haven't seen them, and then all of a sudden the fight breaks out. The Bucks appear, and supposedly Matt Jackson broke his rib. Spoiler. This show may have had 3 major injuries. But doing one of the cross bodies, apparently Matt Jackson hurt his rib. But that brawl at the end, to see the Bucks and Matt Hardy and Kenny standing tall, and it's got the Elite on the grass and on the banner.
You're getting someone who made a half-yard sprint into a fight.
Dude, that has to be the longest clothesline in wrestling history. Like he if you watch closely, you can see him run across the field and then sprint up, but still, he came full. I would have almost thought it would have been just as cool if he'd have rode up on a horse.
But then, how could he get the horse to stop and then tackle though? That's why. I mean, I would have loved that too. But
they're in Florida, man. They got money. They can figure some shit out.
Even the one to take that clothesline because he would have sold the shit out of that.
Jacob, I believe it's Cultureholic actually made that recently. Cultureholic or Wrestle Talk made that, and it was comparing him to. In Monty Python and the Holy Grail, the guy just running back and forth. They made that. If I find it, I'll send it to you.
Wrestling fans, they're gonna make gifts of that sooner or later. Like we can even make up some funny ass captions with Hangman running in. Like, let's say when you find out your base texting somebody else, and then here comes Hangman Page. Or when
you see someone cough in public,
you find out your grandma made cookies. You're right down across the room.
When you find out somebody's got the last beer. I think it would have been even funnier if Hangman had a beer in his hand running that way. He just took a drink.
Or is now single.
Y'all know what we need to talk about?
Oh yeah.
We didn't finish talking about the main event. That's what we're talking about, right? I want to talk about the main event. Are we skipping all this shit?
Oh no, we're gonna go back. We'll go back. How do you guys feel about Jake the Snake and Arn Anderson having to sit down? I heard something. Oh God, never. Hold on. Back to the gifts. When barbershops reopen after COVID-19, there's the winner of our gifts, right there.
Oh come on, Jacob.
Jacob, that takes points for the night. No, something I want to discuss though. I don't think they really needed to be live to sit down. I think they could have done a scripted vignette because those guys, you never know. Yes, they're testing everybody. They're taking all the safety precautions, but you never know. And those men are both, in their 60s and 70s, so they all fall into kind of the age range where they're more susceptible to it and so forth. I kind of wish they could have been scripted. And I'm glad they didn't fight. I know that's weird that we're talking about wrestling, but I'm glad they didn't fight.
I definitely didn't want to see them fight. I thought those two having some heated words back and forth was perfect, honestly.
They almost fought. But Villain, I can't get it out of my brain, man. What else do you want to say about the main event? I want to know.
Well, I didn't get a chance to talk. Only fucking those two guys talked, and then they jumped by the shit. So I mean, I guess they said everything. So it is what it is.
No, we were gonna work our way back around, but go ahead, brother. No, lay it on us.
Yeah, I want to hear.
No, we're already talking about the fucking.
No, that's okay. No, fuck that noise. No. Let's go back. Let's go ahead. We'll just, you know what? Fuck it. I don't give a fuck tonight. We'll go in reverse order. Let's hit the main event. We'll just go in reverse order. I don't give a fuck. This is my show. We're gonna go backwards tonight. Hey, what you got about that main event, brother?
Well, you said, excuse me. Excuse me.
Oh yeah.
You said you started the conversation on that segment saying that they might have planted something in your head because the Young Bucks and Hangman Page haven't been there since it started. One of the Young Bucks was injured, so they decided to stay at their crib, and they were doing all the darks over there, and those things were amazing. Like all of those darks were crazy.
That backyard brawl.
No, not the darks. Being the elite. Sorry, the being the elite stuff was just crazy.
That 200th episode was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, and you notice that all the guys that were there, they weren't at the shows. So like Peter Avalon, Brandon Cutler, the SCU guys, all the other guys they were over there. Private Party, they were doing stuff over there, so they weren't on our Dynamite shows weekly. So they almost had like 2 different shows going on. So I thought that was. So I think that now they're getting ready for the pay-per-view and stuff is opened up in Florida. I think that's why they came back, and it's a perfect time, to see all 3 of them, especially Hangman Page coming back too, since he's tag team champion. So I think it's gonna be a hell of a stuff. They did some creative stuff, and I thought it was all right. I hope he's not injured, the rib injury that you mentioned. But other than that, I thought it looked visually stunning and it was fun for it was.
I don't even know what to expect in this match, though. The stadium stampede.
Oh, we'll get to there. I think it's gonna honestly one up Money in the Bank. I'm gonna make a bold prediction right there and say that they're gonna one up Money in the Bank. They're gonna try and push it to Boneyard and Firefly Funhouse because it's gonna be cinematic. They can't just have them fight, and if they're gonna go all over the ring, they really can't, go live with it, right? Does everybody agree with that?
I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. It'd probably be like that brawl that they like the street fight a little bit, right?
I think they're gonna have. Oh, I think they're gonna have different cameras following the different beefs because they're gonna be everywhere. So we'll get cut screens or maybe 2-in-1 screens of stuff going on because since they're gonna be in a stadium, the ring's supposed to be on the football field. And that's why they call it the stadium stand because so they could go to the stadium, they could walk up the steps, go in the back. So we'll probably be following different guys doing crazy shit. And I think that Matt's right. Some of the stuff will be rehearsed and cinematic, especially when you have Maya Hardy in the match. So they're going to have those cinematic moments. But yeah, I expected not all 10 guys to be on one camera. It's going to be like how you said, Money in Bank, different cuts, different places and stuff like that. So yeah, I think, I trust them. And I think it's going to be, I can't wait to watch it, man, because I'm going to be watching the pay-per-view live. When it comes to AEW pay-per-views, I got that money. Ain't no fucking thing. I watch them shits. So I can't wait.
I'm definitely tempted to buy it myself. I really am. I've got the money right now, so it's one of those that I've got my show Saturday night. That's the only real issue I've got is because if I haven't, I'm gonna want to watch it. But I've got my show. So it's kind of like. I was thinking about buying it like Sunday afternoon, go ahead and paying for it and just watching it then. But yeah, I definitely, and I'm going to stay away from spoilers.
Man.
I may run my show here and right here on my TV, just stream it at the same time.
That's going to be a lot of punishment on the bandwidth.
Yeah. All right. So, JB3, you got anything else you want to add to the main event?
I'm interested to see it. I'm excited, but more interested. I just want to see what they're gonna do. If it's anything like Kenny Omega's moonsault off the scissor lift, yeah.
I think we're gonna see a moonsault off the goalpost. I really do. I don't know who it's gonna be. I don't know who it's going to be done by, but I expect to see a moonsault off the goalpost by somebody.
That shit will be fire.
Yeah.
All right. So we're all in agreement. This is going to be one hell of a match. I hope we see the multiple faces of Matt Hardy like they did. Somebody got to get hit with a bag of ice again because I've had a bag of ice thrown at me before. That shit hurts.
Yeah.
There's a big ass.
If I was him, man, we could probably even see some guy that looks similar to his brother dressed as Willow in a segment.
That'd be funny.
It would be. What match is next?
That leads us to.
We need to talk about Orange Cassidy and Ray Phoenix, though.
We're gonna get there, damn it. We're gonna get there. So you're wrong. No,
because the aftermath of that, man, Jesus. Okay, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, next up would be the women's tag team, which we had the Beast Nyla Rose, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Hikaru Shida, and Chris Statlander. Yeah. Quick shout out to my girls, Kat and Angela. What up, ladies? Thank you for dropping in real quick.
Yeah.
So injury number 2 of the night, gentlemen. It is reported, it isn't confirmed yet, but it is reported that Dr. Britt Baker has possibly suffered an MCL tear. Could be out upwards of 9 months.
I'm hearing some reports it may be her ACL, but if it is her MCL, then shit.
I don't want.
They should have never threw her on there, man.
Why the fuck did they do that? I wish it
should have never been thrown on top of her. Period.
That's like me being thrown into Caleb. That's like me being thrown on Little Warrior. Come on now. That just has no need to happen. Yes, it was neat looking to watch, but
it's just it was just accident. It's just a bad spot where they thought probably was going to look cool, because we've seen stuff like that before. With bigger people, especially now that they use the turnbuckle when somebody's like, near the ropes on the floor and shit, throwing them into them. But yeah, they're just freak accident. I hope she's not that hurt like you guys are reporting, because that would suck, because she was killing it, with the promo game and, trying to move up the rankings to get a title shot, so
and
it
also,
sucks that
where she got that bloody nose from Hikaru Shida. I mean, that was clearly like another moment that really skyrocketed her. I mean, I rewatched the match, and I've seen people share clips of those couple seconds. It does look like Nyla. It looked like it was a freak accident. Like she just wasn't like dropped off perfectly onto like the corner of the turnbuckle.
Yeah, because they couldn't pick her up, man. They couldn't pick Nyla up.
Yeah,
that's a big woman.
They couldn't lift her, so they were off balance. I'm just saying. I know it was a freak accident, but I just say in those situations, maybe they shouldn't do that kind of stuff.
And this close to the pay-per-view. I mean, it looks cool. And hell, who knows? This could be a work. You never know. They could be pulling this, Britt Baker's hurt, this and that. And then she'll go on to like Twitter or Instagram or what have you, or even, the AEW page and go, guess what? You thought I was hurt. Or even during the pay-per-view itself. She come out limping and then all of a sudden just, go out. We've seen that before in wrestling, Look at Mox a couple weeks, a few months ago when he picked up the title. He wore that eye patch. Haven was telling me that on the cruise, he even wore the eye patch during the cruise.
Oh yeah, he did. 100%.
So this could just be, another AEW work. But overall, it was a good match, and it proves that Nyla Rose is as much of a badass as she claims to be. She took on both of these women and won.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they put her through a table. I'm gonna be the one to admit it kind of shows that she is mortal.
Well, honestly, here's the thing: that throughout Nyla Rose's run, it seems the only person who could beat her was Riho. But having this situation now with Nyla being thrown through a table, it shows that there are other women competitors in the women's division willing to step up and do, and really show that Nyla isn't this, like what you said, this is not invulnerable. Like she's not this beast. Like she's impossible to defeat. So maybe her match against Shida will be very competitive. I mean, who knows what feats of strength we might see.
Yeah. All right. So go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I'm down to watch that match.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a good match, and it's a no DQ match, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. Let's see. I guess we go to let's go back 2 weeks to that Mortal Kombat straight up finisher kick that Ray Phoenix put and sell upon Orange Cassidy. Oh my God! If I would have heard finish him over that and that happened, I would have straight up just thought that they had put Orange Cassidy in a masked fighter in Mortal Kombat 11, and that was that, because he took that kick to the face and sold it like a champ. And then this week when their match started, just the fact Orange Cassidy steps back like, I got you. And that match was beautiful. Like it proved to a lot of AEW fans are like, they're not, he can't wrestle and blah, blah, blah. It was a one-off with Pac. Pac, carried him. And he comes out and he's just like, I got you.
It was a great match. And then injury number 3.
Ooh, fuck.
Yeah, so they have the match. I think it was a great match. Man, Ray Phoenix is like one of the best wrestlers. And Orange Cassidy, man, he really steps it up every time. And when they were just going, I could watch them go 10, 15 more minutes after that. But I liked it. I liked the way that it ended. It made sense. Obviously, I mean, and the aftermath was just insane. And it's going to show us what's in store for this casino match.
Yeah.
I want to give a little shout out.
No, Maddie, you just already talked.
Oh,
JV3 talked. I want to talk, and then I know Ryan wants to talk about this match before we just blow to some other shit, man.
Oh, like, no. I was gonna say that in my opinion, Kip Sabian was totally it was dope. Just the way he climbed up on that ladder and just sat there like, y'all go ahead.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's all I wanted to drop in there real quick was just like Kip Sabian cracked me up. Just the way he's like, y'all fight. I'm just gonna sit right here.
Yeah, and we noticed, even this week we had the revelation of like realizing like, oh shit, there's 2 other guys that hasn't been here since the whole epidemic was Pac and Pentagon, but Phoenix was here, and Phoenix is, that's why, like, we're gonna talk about a pay-per-view in a little bit, and we're gonna talk about the match card and the next belt that they're introducing. But in my opinion, man, I think other guys should have been in that match. Like these guys, we were talking about CME earlier, MJF, there's so many other guys that should be fighting for secondary title. And like Ray Phoenix is like, he's so good. And Orange Cassidy was able to keep up. We had some fun spots, some amazing, shit. Like Phoenix just makes everything look so easy. Like it's just ridiculous how he just walks the ropes. Like he's a Skywalker, in my opinion. Like this dude just be doing shit that you don't see that from 90% of other people on any roster around the globe. Like this dude is just like, it's so easy for him. But then we did have that spot at the end, which I know we're going to talk about, that he might be injured. The ladder match, the way they had Kip come out, he was looking fresh as shit with the Hawaiian shirt. He had the different colored glasses. Like that dude's just a pimp, and then everybody else came out. We're supposed to get another guy in that match too. But yeah, man, this, Orange Cassidy's, he's, we could build on him later, but this was a good match, and he deserved to take the loss on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan.
Oh, you guys hit some of the best points. Yeah, the callback of Orange Cassidy missing that. It wasn't just Orange who sold that well. It was also Ray Phoenix before that match. Because if you look, he looked as if he had missed the winning goal kick in a soccer game. Though he's just like, God damn it! Like he was pissing himself off. And I think that actually added a great layer to that match, to why Phoenix wanted to take out Orange Cassidy. And also, I like how in commentary how, even though like they were like really doing well, like selling Phoenix and Orange Cassidy on how well they're going back and forth with each other, they did do a good job to drop that Orange Cassidy has been a veteran of 16 years though. So he's been wrestling before. It's just like, with this whole new gimmick persona, it's easy to forget that, oh, he must be a 3 or 4 year guy. Nope, he's done it more than a decade. And
yeah. Some of his matches before he went Orange Cassidy and Sloth-like in CZW are fantastic. Just little side note.
And also, yeah, that spot too, man. I thought that was terrible on the other wrestlers. They're all bunching up at each other, and you see that, and you're like, can 2 guys take 3 inches forward just so he can land on them? Oh my god. It was just like terrible miscommunication.
Yep, I agree.
Hey guys, that was my fault. I didn't realize you guys were ended, so it took me a minute or 2 to get on that. My fault, guys. I was watching in the background. That That shit was good.
All right. I could agree with that. He could take more losses than wins.
I'm sorry that I ended it a little.
Same with Sammy Guevara. Orange Cassidy and Sammy Guevara, they can trade losses amongst each other, and it's not going to hurt either of them. Yeah. I mean, those guys look like they can go the long run. So when they start getting those big wins, trust me, people are going to want to see belts around both of those men.
I think that I think he's right. I could be wrong, but I think he's right. All right, let me bring Mr. Haven back into this conversation. So no, that's fine though. I guess since Ryan brought it up, there's no blame on anybody in my opinion. It's just one of those wrestling accidents. Like you could see because I went back and watched it a couple of times when Rey Fenix hits that rope, he kind of stalls for a second. I don't know if he kind of lost his balance a little bit, and then his rotation. If you watch when he rotates, it's a little off. So it's just one of those freak accidents. It looks fucking terrible though. Like he could have straight up broke his back.
Yeah, it could have. His back, his neck, his head. It was dangerous, man, and it sucks. That's why it kills me. Like I'm about to go on a Ryan rant. I'm gonna dub that the new phrase because, like I know you want to have like a sold out place and stuff, but sometimes you could move the barricade a couple more feet. Like it kills me when everything has been so in such a tight confined space outside the ring. Like if you're gonna do a move, like just if they got metal gates or the blockade kind of gate, if you hit that shit, you fuck yourself up. So it's like spread it back a little bit so the guys could jump a little farther without getting themselves injured if they have some more room. But freak accidents like this happen because he just was short. So if they were farther back. But it just, they couldn't even catch him. So, it was bad.
Because, like, every time they do a tope, it doesn't matter what kind it is. If it's a suicida or whatever, they're always hitting that guardrail. If they moved it back a little bit, they wouldn't hit it so hard, so predominantly hard. And I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
I agree.
I share the same thoughts too. Yeah, more space around the outside of the ring. Be much easier to have more brawls and whenever dives are done, there's more safety.
Ryan, you hit the word perfectly. Let's talk about the brawl of the night. That would be my man John Moxley. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I can't say it right. Sorry, my wrestler, my MVP of period of AEW right now is John Moxley. I don't give a fuck what you say. This is my show. If you don't agree, there's the door right now. But him and Ted, I kind of like that. The match itself was okay. It was kind of a squash match, but it showed Ted had some fury. But what it really did is it showed that Mr. Brody Lee don't give a fuck. He will do whatever he has to. And he basically sacrificed his number one guy. Now, granted, Stu Grayson and Evil Uno aren't able to be there because they're still in Canada.
Yeah.
But
because Evil Uno's number one guy. Well, storyline it should be unless they changed it.
Right.
I think it's because of it's just because early in the match, Brody was kind of hyping up 10 as if he's going to be the new prize pupil. So that's why with that little turn, it was like, I'm willing to sacrifice a few pawns. It felt like, oh, okay.
Damn, that's shady as hell. I just like the fact that they showed that Mox is still he is the champion for a reason, and it's kind of like in NXT, Ciampa and Goldie, that's his baby, and right now Brody Lee's got it, so he's going to run over whoever he wants to get to it. That's all I
think. I was going to say that. I like the way they're building him up. He has his unique brawling style, and his unique wrestling. So, it was a good match, and Brody Lee, I think this is kind of rush job, in my opinion. I think we talked about this the last time I was up here, but this match is one of the matches I'm kind of like, whatever. But this 10 match was good. Like 10, he's had a match like 2 weeks ago, I think on a dark. So he's like there. You know, it was a good match. Yeah, and Brody Lee's the general, man. He's the head don. You know, so the people got to do what he says, man. If they're gonna be down with him, they got to be loyal. So if you got to get your arm broken to keep, you know, the title in Brody Lee's hands, you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, I personally like Jon Moxley's style. When he was in New Japan, I liked it a little more. I don't know, the translation for some reason feels off, just like Kenny. Like, I don't know why. And it's not even because he could cuss, because Kenny wasn't really cussing in Japan, and they only cuss when they're like doing promos. But for some reason, they seemed always better, you know, in New Japan, you know. But yeah, you know, if maybe at the pay-per-view he'll have a longer match, but maybe that's what it is. But yeah, it was good. You know, he's got to be pissed, and he's got to be brutal, you know, if he wants to get his title back.
Oh yeah, he's full of piss and vinegar, man. I love Moxley too, man. When he came in, he's shot straight to the top. Now he's on top, and I just don't see him leaving the top, man. I agree with everything you said, man. I agree with every single thing you said. It's rushed. I get it, but it's a good thing that they're doing it now. The only saving grace is that they don't have a crowd. So they don't have to worry about him getting booed out of any buildings or anything like that, or the match stinking out the joint. It'll be a good match. But, you know, some fans can be jerks when they're mad.
I think it could be physical. I think it's going to be physical as hell between the two of them. Like, it's going to be one of those knockdown, drag-out fights.
There is no doubt it will be physical between these two, man. And to be honest, at first, the rush did bother me, but at the same time, it does seem to help, because with Brody Lee, they did build this angle of the Exalted One, and they've been doing vignettes with him, so they are building Brody Lee to a bigger platform. I mean, of course, one of the big downsides, we don't have crowds, so we really can't test and see how well he's gonna go. But for right now, storyline-wise, it seems like, yeah, he comes into this company. He's the top dog in the Dark Order. So guess what? He's going after all other top dogs to exude his dominance. He wants to show everybody that he's not here to just wrestle. He's here to take out anybody in his way and also be the man on top. So I'm expecting a very good physical fight between these two. I mean, Moxley's definitely going to be pulling a lot of tricks out of the book in order to take down Brody Lee. And of course, we're going to see maybe some Dark Order minions get involved. But maybe it might end with Moxley coming out on top, but Brody Lee, through shenanigans, still runs away with the belt. You know, who knows?
And brought that up. There's one more match that we have to talk about really quickly before we get to the pay-per-view and kind of wrap it up. That's MJF and Marco Stunt. I can't believe I forgot this. In my opinion, Marco Stunt, he is like the workhorse of AEW right now. Like, he can take a loss, but he still looks good doing it. Like he had a match on Dark this last week that was fantastic, and he won.
Yep, he did. Yeah. I like Marco Stunt, and I don't think he should have been used here. They could have used anybody else, man. Like, they could even put Pineapple Pete in there and get him 2 matches against 2 stars, even though he has to lose those 2. But I kind of agree. Like, this was another case where, like, you notice, like, damn, Luchasaurus hasn't been wrestling in over a month and a half. You know, he's just come back, and it's like, I don't know why some of the other players ain't wrestling more, because Marco Stunt has a lot of matches, and it was what it was, but they could have put somebody else in that slot, you know, for MJF to beat.
Yeah, I agree with that, but he still looked good doing it. And but what it does though, it's story wise, it kind of makes sense though, because it gives Jungle Boy more ammunition to go after him, because you know that is his boy.
Yeah.
So, and at the same time, Jungle Boy isn't the vocal one of the group to be doing promos. So going after someone like Marco Stunt, while in MJF's eyes, even as a bastard heel as MJF is, works, because he wants to hurt Jungle Boy. He wants to get in his head, but at the same time, he also wants to, you know, because going back weeks when he learns, which is with MJF, we're trying to give him a platform to where he can still come off as an asshole. So when he starts getting to another big major feud again, We don't have to worry about where's the short, where's this, what's the next like quick transition feud gonna be? No, I'm pretty sure after Double or Nothing, he's gonna get himself another somebody else to have a long time feud against.
Yeah. So, all right, gentlemen. I want to do something since we've got the pay-per-view this week, and I'm assuming everybody will be back next week. I'm gonna write everybody's predictions down, and I'll run them through the card, and let's see who can get the closest to a perfect bracket. So on the pre-show, we got the number one contenders for the tag team titles between Private Party and Best Friends. Personally, I think Best Friends has been seen more on TV, so I think they're going to take that.
I've been watching a lot of BTE lately, and I think it's going to be Private Party because they've done this little angled Private Party to where they have this little. Actually, for a while, they've done this little long storyline to where Private Party and Hangman have constantly ran into each other to where they just keep rubbing each other the wrong way.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be a title shot opportunity.
Mr. Villain, JB3, whoever, I don't care.
I agree with Ryan. I think because of BTE, they're setting that up with Hangman. So I think that it's gonna be Private Party.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go with Best Friends. We've seen them win more on Dynamite and being, some high profile matches. Since the whole pandemic started, we've seen them on TV and they've been catching some wins here and there. So I think, they're not going to win the titles, but I think they're the ones that are going to win the number one contenders match.
All right. So we're split 50-50 here. All right. I'm kind of curious about this one because this is kind of one of those matches that came out of left field. Shawn Spears and Dustin Rhodes. I think Shawn Spears is going to take this heel victory personally. I love the promo he cut because it was great. Yeah.
I agree. I'm going with Shawn Spears, and I think he's probably gonna try to do something. I think he's trying to get Cody's attention.
Yeah, I think Spears as well, especially the fact that he called out Dustin. That promo was fucking excellent. Like some huge personality out of Shawn Spears. And honestly, it depends on how the TNT Championship is going to be, but I think this might lead to another certain rematch at All Out. So I'm going with Spears.
I'm going with Spears too. It's a clean sweep for Spears. Ryan touched on that promo, but I like that whole setup that he had, and he's got to keep doing it, because that thing was money, man. That whole shit where I was like, oh, okay. We've seen him in the crowds gambling with MJF, and then and then they go from there to see him, having a nice setup. It almost looked like Sports Center type of fucking backdrop, and he cut a hell of a good promo. So I think he's gonna win. And that's going to put more doubt, and that's why the Dustin storyline could keep going with anybody else, with just him doubting himself that he can't, win, and maybe he should retire. But yeah, Shawn Spears definitely.
All right, this one is kind of a big question mark because, like we said, she might have torn her ACL. But we got the Dr. Britt Baker and Chris Statlander. I think Britt Baker, if this match happens, I think Britt Baker is going to do it. She has become probably, other than MJF, the best heel and Jericho, the best heel on the mic. I love how she's ripping people, or like during a match, she'll take her shoe off in the crowd and thump somebody, and she's pulling the Bailey, and I'm a role model, but I think she's doing it better.
Yeah, I agree. I think if I was AEW, the way they care about their talent, I would not let her wrestle. I would just change the card, man. As expected, and give somebody else a match and just make sure that she's 100%. So if she does wrestle in the match, I mean, if she's 100%, yeah, she should win because her whole heel persona. But I think that maybe she should just sit it out, man. And just wrestle.
I agree, but I tell him I'm going to take Britt. Mr. 3, what you got, homie?
Britt. Same reasons. I hope not, but if she does, I think she'd have to keep her heel fire going. I'm sick of Britt losing too. I really am.
I am too. That lockjaw she does though, that shit is fire. Like, I like the fact that it's a submission and it's basically the mandible claw, but it's different. It's not just her ramming her hand down somebody's throat. It's also a hold. So I kind of like that. Ryan?
Same sentiment as everybody else. I hope Britt is not too seriously hurt. But in most situations, change the card to where Statlander has someone else to fight. And so, Britt. But, I would say Britt in this situation too, because Statlander had her opportunity, and it really depends on who wins the women's match. But I'm going to go with Britt on this one.
They could just cancel the card too, that match period. Just say that, for the present time, they want Britt to feel better and maybe have Chris
an opponent for Statlander. Honestly, they might.
They could, or just have Chris come out and go, in my home planet and so forth. She could boop Tony Schiavone or whoever in the nose, and he can go, well, she communicated that on her home world they only fight when everybody's 100%. So we're gonna let this sit for a little while or something. They could do that on the TNT thing on tomorrow night.
I mean, or they could just say she's not cleared.
Yeah, they could. I mean, it is what it is. All right, let's go to the Beast, Nyla Rose, and Hikaru Shida. I think Nyla's going to retain. I'm just going to leave it at that. Nyla's going to retain. She's going to stay on top of the mountain.
Yep.
Well, fuck, man. I guess that
every part of me wants it to be Shida, but at this point, Nyla has been on a bit of a roll, so on a tear. So it's Nyla.
This is one of those that I think it's just too easy, in my opinion. It's MJF and Jungle Boy. I think MJF needs to win. He needs to do some heelish shit, put that ring on, and just clock the fuck out of Jungle Boy, and Jungle Boy drop.
This is not going to hurt him. This won't. He just had his biggest victory against Cody. So even if he does lose, this just gives more excuse for some extended storyline play into some Dynamite matches. Hell, a tag team with Jurassic Express versus MJF and Wardlow. But I think MJF will win this one.
I was just about to say, who the fuck's he picking then? Okay. Villain?
Yeah, I have to agree. MJF needs the momentum to keep moving forward. And I think that it's going to come down to some dirty tactics. Wardlow will distract the ref. If Luchasaurus is there, he might be on the opposing side, but I think it's MJF all the way.
Ladder match.
I am going to call Jungle Boy.
Ooh, okay. I mean, I could see Jungle Boy getting the win because he hasn't been around lately, and But I think that, and this could be good heat for MJF if he does lose. It can come back and go, X, Y, Z, blah blah blah, and just drop a whole bunch of stuff. But I don't know. So the casino ladder match to I don't even know the fucking way to put it, dude. Like
9 competitors, 8 have been revealed.
Yeah, so we've got the unknown competitor. I think it's probably Drew Gulak. That's my opinion. I think it'll be him.
What? He got released like last week. He's not gonna fucking show up.
He does not have a 90-day non-compete clause. He can compete immediately. Like I honestly, he could be. And in the weeks before, he was going back and forth with Cody and the AEW guys. So but we've got the unknown competitor, Frankie Kazarian, Luchasaurus, Darby Allin, Colt Cabana, Orange Cassidy, Ray Phoenix, Scorpio Sky, and Kip Sabian. I'm gonna say Darby Allin takes this, but it's too fucking hard to tell.
Yeah, it is, honestly. I do want to say either Darby or Scorpio Sky, but it's really difficult. So I will lock in and say Scorpio Sky.
Okay.
I'm gonna go the mystery wrestler. I'm thinking it's probably gonna be Rusev. which I think that would be fucking awesome.
Heck
If it's
yeah,
him.
dude.
But I think if
Well.
I have to pick a wrestler that's on the current roster, I'm gonna have to go with Ray Phoenix. So
No, the unknown. Honestly, brother, the unknown character is an absolute pick. If that's what you want, that's what you can take.
well, I'm not saying for him to win a match. I'm just guessing who might show up in the ninth spot.
Okay.
There's two different things in this match. We're gonna get the intrigue of who the mystery wrestler is. And it might be an outside guy, and that'd be fucking awesome. And then whoever actually wins it, because I don't think the mystery person is gonna win it unless it still seems rushed if they have some outsider just come to the company and win the fucking thing because they're gonna get a title match. So I think that might just
go ahead. I like that Rusev call though. That is definitely plausible. Round us out, homie.
So remember earlier in the show when you were like, what's your theory? It's theory. It's theory time. I'm about to fantasy book this crap.
All right.
So
let me put my pen down.
So I actually picked Jungle Boy for a reason, because I think that the mystery opponent is going to be MJF, and I think he's going to win and get the briefcase. And I think that Ryan, you touched it, man. You said it. I think MJF is going to take that title shot, and I think he's going to be the next one to compete for that title. Or I don't know if it's going to have Money in the Bank stipulations, like he can hold it for a while. I don't know how that goes, but
they haven't said that.
Yeah, MJF is going to be the mystery opponent, and most likely the last one coming out, and everybody's gonna be like, well, nobody's gonna be there, but if people were there, they'd be like, boo.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean, because they're gonna have people there. They have people at every weekly show, so if they're doing pay-per-view, they're gonna have people there. They're gonna have people there.
They really do.
He means a full crowd. But
I don't know. That was his pick, and I don't want to jump, into the thing, but I don't see them pushing him like that hard, just because he's already made. He could have a title shot if he wanted to against Jon Moxley. He could talk shit. So I don't know if he needs to win the match for being it, since he already has another match on the card. But yeah, that's different.
I heard that rumor that people are kind of like, it's possible that this could happen. I like the idea, because that would bring more heat on him.
2019 Royal Rumble Women's, my pick was Becky Lynch. Just saying, I got history in this field. In my mind, I think they might do it. We'll see though. We'll see, because hey, you know what? Also, hey, Villain, you could be right, man, because it's not a coincidence that May 23rd, it falls on a specific day.
Yep. Rusev Day. I don't know, because he's going to have to change his name. That's the only thing that sucks. But I think that if they're hyping it up, so if it's an outsider, that's going to be cool, because people kind of expect that, even though we already got 3 new signings, from, Brody Lee, Lance Archer, and Matt Hardy. But they have the money, and Tony Khan's cool. They might just bring some new guy in, to bulk up the roster.
Yeah. All right. So that's the interesting one. Let's go to the Stadium Stampede match. I'm gonna go last because I don't really know. Ryan, who's gonna win this?
Part of me, storyline terms, wants to believe it's gonna be the Elite, because Inner Circle has always come up on top almost 85% of Dynamites. And I don't know, the fact that I don't know. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to logic my way out of this show. I'm just going to say it. The Elite. They're going to win.
All right. JB3?
I'm going for the Inner Circle. I call the Inner Circle. I think my reasoning is just, I think that there's too much in the future, storyline-wise, for the Elite, like breaking up and competing. I think that they're obviously going to split up. I mean, they're doing something with Hangman. So I think that Inner Circle's they're more a tight group, and I think they're going to win.
All right, I'll go next. I'm also taking the Inner Circle, but I think what it's going to do is it's going to continue the storyline, and they're going to go, look, we beat you in the street fight. We beat you in the stadium stampede, and it's going to lead to blood and guts. And that's where the breakup of the Elite will happen.
I'm gonna go with the Elite on this one. Blood and Guts came and went. Unless they use it for another pay-per-view, I guess they can switch stuff up. But I think that, with the power they have, with all the people coming back, it's almost like Voltron, You watch that Netflix series, sometimes they were all from different places, but when the shit hit the fan, they all came through. They got Matt Hardy now. He's the newest member. You got the Young Bucks back, Hangman back. They're still the tag team champions. I think they might just win this match.
So there's our 50-50 split. All right, now we got two more titles to talk about. We got the TNT, basically TV title or whatever you want to call it, Cody and Lance Archer. I think Lance Archer is going to win this, and he's going to hold on to it for a while.
I'm going Cody. He needs to win this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with the villain. I was so on the fence about this because I could totally see them giving it to Lance Archer, but I think they need a feel-good moment, and I think this is going to be that feel-good moment.
Okay, and I can see that too. And if Cody does win, this could put Lance Archer up on the main card because he can go. I went 7-0, 7-1, 6-1, whatever it was, all the way through that, and I didn't win. And then at the end of the next match, he could come out and attack the champ and then build that storyline. But we got a fantasy book based on the next match. So that's, what? I'm going to change mine, and I'm going to go with Cody too. Just because of my... No, because...
Man, are you even allowed to do that, man?
Fuck yeah, this is my show, motherfucker. Fuck yeah.
You know what? Hey, it's cool. Whatever.
No, because in my head, well, because as I'm talking, I fantasy booked something up here. So Cody's got to win this. Mr. Payne, what you got?
Well, I'm going with Cody as well because of the storylines I can see going into All Out, the fantasy booking that goes into there as well. Especially after what happened with the Archer and Dustin, and of course with Cody's match against Darby Allin, there has been some shade amongst, at least mainly from all the heel wrestlers talking about that Cody is starting to make questionable decisions. So there can be some storytelling that can happen between after Double or Nothing to All Out.
All right, now we got Mox and Brody Lee. I'm gonna let y'all go first, and then I'm gonna give my big fantasy booking.
Oh shit! So we're just gonna fantasy book now because I've fantasy booked shit out of anything. If we're gonna play that game, But no, I'm gonna go Moxley. It's just too soon for Brody Lee, in my opinion. He just got there. He hasn't been a champion that I know of in any major company. For him to just come in like 2 months' time, win the title, it doesn't sit right with me. And so I think Moxley's going to keep rolling with it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I pick Mox too. Everything that he said, I'm trying. It's so weird. I'm on my phone. It's all backwards. Yeah, that guy.
It's backwards on my computer too, so don't feel bad. Ryan, who you got?
Well, it's clearly Mox, though. Despite the fact how quick Brody Lee was giving up, there is something more to tell with Brody Lee losing, because this could lead into another opportunity for him to go after Mox, or a situation to where Mox once again is on top and he's like, okay, who's next? And then it can lead into a feud with whoever is the winner of the Casino Ladder match.
All right. All right, here we go. Here's my fantasy booking. Cody wins the title, right? And him and Lance Archer and Jake the Snake kind of go off for a while. And then later down the card, we have Mox and Brody Lee. Mox stands tall over the crowd like he was. Let's hope this time he's not half concussed like he was when he fought Jericho and talking some gibberish. And then all of a sudden, Lance comes out and just clocks him, lays him out. and looks at him and goes, you took my IWGP US title. Well, guess what? I'm going to take your fucking title. And at the end of it, we see Mox laid out on the ground just bleeding. So then that leads just this long mammoth run where we'll have the winner of the battle royale or the ladder match. They can cash in. So this is a long storyline, where he just continuously the Murder Hawk's just lurking in the background, and then we see that at the next massive, I guess it would be All Out, would be the next massive pay-per-view they have.
Yeah.
That's just my theory.
Yeah.
Because their barn burner in New Japan for the title was great. Like, it was basically just a no DQ Falls Count Anywhere match.
Oh, yeah, they killed it.
But they did. So I could see them doing another run like that.
I mean, it's the problem when you're a new company, and like I know a lot of people always talk about belts, like, oh, there's too many belts, oh, there's not enough belts, and I'm in the camp where like AEW is like the way the belts are going to be placed with people. You got all this other talent that wants to do stuff, and unless they're going to do not pay-per-views, because they only do pay-per-views like every 3 months. They don't do it monthly like WWE. So unless you're going to have the champion feud, putting the title on the line on TV, and then how do you still got to build matches around that. Like they did that with 10. They had him beat 10 because he's going to beef with Brody Lee. But it's like you got so many people there that he could be beefing with. So we just got to see how they roll with it. But I don't know if they can. I don't know. I mean, they could do that, but I don't know. Archer just came in, so they'll be like him and Brody Lee came in damn near the same time. So if he goes back to back with brand new guys, that just looks kind of fucked up for all the people that've been there.
Well, like I said, though, they can have smaller matches in between. He can put the title on the line in between, and even have Archer come out and cause the disqualification or whatever. He'd be that person that's sitting in the darkness.
Yeah.
But I think that's what they're going to do, and they're talking about on AEW adding a second show on TNT.
Yeah, so TNT gave them that money, man. TNT. They extended the contract a couple months back, like 6 months ago. Like,
yeah,
they love AEW. They like the numbers. They see the great chemistry they had with each other. They gave them like another 4-year deal, man. So they're going to be there for a while.
And they're adding the second show, so you'll have Dart being the elite. You'll have, and then they'll have the regular, Dynamite and whatever they have. So they've got time that they can, spread. I think what they should do is kind of spread out the card. You'll have your main eventers. You'll have Mox and Brody Lee and Jericho. But then you can fill these 2 hours, it'll be 4 hours of live TV. So you'll be able to spread it out, even if it's only an hour and a half on, say, Saturday nights or whatever. So I like the way that the AEW is shaping up. And this week, they actually beat NXT by almost 200,000 people watching.
Yep. I seen that number. It was like 700,000 to like 500,000.
Yeah, so somewhere over 700,000. Well, NXT had like maybe under 500, like over 550,000. Yeah.
But I just want to point out, though, that means over 1.1 million people are watching wrestling on Wednesday nights, however you cut it.
Yeah.
So that right there is showing you that people are hungry for good wrestling.
Yeah, and it just sucks, like I guess we're freestyling now. If you guys give me the opportunity, just ramble, because I think it's a shame that they put NXT on Wednesdays, because NXT was doing great on the network, man. Mm-hmm. That was the biggest show on the network. And just because a new company comes up, you put them against it, and it kind of robs us as fans, because NXT wrestlers are like how NXT wrestlers like a fantasy league, where you just have like a lot of the top indie stars just on the show, and then they got to wrestle there and then work their way up to the big leagues in WWE. So you got all these people with so much fucking talent that you already love. So it's a hodgepodge, and it would have just been better anywhere else, man, because it sucks. Because both of them can't eat like they should, and that's what's fucked up thing about it. Because they're to me, they're both the best weekly wrestling shows we have on TV in a week, and they're both on the same night.
Right. Hands down.
That's true. Yeah.
And all they'd have to do is move, because Dynamite was already scheduled for Wednesday nights. So all they'd have to do is move, we know they're not going to do it, but NXT to say Thursday. So you got wrestling on Monday. You've got it on Tuesday with Dark. You'd have AEW on Wednesday, NXT on Thursday, and SmackDown on Friday. And if we were lucky, AEW pay-per-views on Saturday and WWE pay-per-views on Sunday. But we all know it's about that good shit and that making their money,
Well, yeah. Wrestling is crazy.
Yeah, so is there anything
after Double or Nothing? And at this point, as far as I'm concerned with AEW, they are making some good, smart decisions, especially in response with the whole virus situation. I mean, let's be honest. Our picks they could maybe surprise us at Double or Nothing by having some titles change hands or having certain people win that we didn't expect to win. They don't need to be predictable at that point. I mean, in my mind, I think they have the trust of some wrestling fans, and there's gonna be some ups and downs constantly. It's just, I think right after Double or Nothing, we're gonna get a whole new cylinder kicking off, and once the second show does start get rolling, I think we're even gonna see another whole another whole avenue happen, like wrestlers that don't get a lot of TV time, that are maybe sometimes used as crowd members in AEW. They're finally going to get their opportunity on that second show, or help maybe expand more on Dark. But right now, as far as I'm concerned with AEW, I think as long as they remember where the pulse is, where the pulse is, at least amongst the wrestling fans, they need to remember that when they do have talent involved, it is a smart play not having them all be used, but just try not to forget, don't take shots at WWE all the time. Okay, remember, you guys got your own thing. Your biggest enemy right now is yourselves. Last thing you guys want is you're getting close. Let's say on the rings, they climb up all the way up to maybe 1 million people watching their show, and then they do something completely stupid that loses the trust of the people at certain point, that makes where NXT can now start beating them again. I just right now just want AEW just to keep climbing. Just keep climbing, man. Let them do them. Don't worry about what the other guys are doing.
Okay then. I just want to give a shout out though. I know he'll never see it, but Tony Khan, he really ran with this whole coronavirus thing. It came out that he literally sat down and banged out what was going to run during this whole pandemic in a few minutes. So you got to give him credit. He knows what he's doing.
I wouldn't say a few minutes, but yeah, he did talk about it on AEW Unrestricted with Aubrey and Tony Schiavone. So yeah, you should definitely check that shit out. They had 2 parts with Tony Khan up there.
I love those, and it's just them sitting back shooting this shit, and it's great. But other than that, gents, do we have anything else that we really want to bring up? We've been going an hour and a half. Is there anything else quickly you want to bring up?
I have one thing to bring up.
Okay.
So, if you guys aren't aware, and anybody watching still, if you're not aware, over on the channel, Nerd Entertainment Network, the long-awaited matchup between me and Nico Suave Rigoli. Our match is up. It's uploaded to YouTube. Go check it out. It's an interesting match. You should give it a watch. yeah, it just got loaded. I think like probably a little bit before we came alive. So anybody out there watching, go check out Nerd Entertainment Network. We got wrestling trivia, we got movie trivia. It's all a bunch of nerd stuff, bunch of geek stuff, bunch of watch throughs, a lot of reactions and stuff. Hunter Chambers likes to do all those reactions. Just come check us out. It's good stuff.
I know I have a match.
Oh yeah, he's bleep. Yeah. What type of match, man? You cut a good promo, but you left out the bill, man. What type of match? Is it wrestling? Is it a movie?
Heavyweight division combat wrestling trivia match. 3 rounds, and it works. You just have to go watch it.
I love how he's like, I want to give more details, but I can't talk much because I don't want to give.
I just want to know if it's a wrestling match because I'll go watch it if it's gonna be a wrestling match.
It is a wrestling match. It's a wrestling.
It's wrestling trivia.
Yeah, I know what it is. I mean, I know what wrestling trivia is. I started that shit. Okay, that's what I just want to know. If it's a wrestling trivia match, is a movie trivia match, IG.
It's wrestling.
You know?
It's wrestling trivia.
Oh, I can't wait to watch that. That's what's up.
All right, Haven, why don't you tell the people where they can find it? Oh, Mr. Barber giving credit where credit is due.
Oh,
thank you, Jacob. I appreciate that.
Mr. Haven, where can people find you and find out what you're doing online?
Oh, well, it's if you want to get with me, it's on Jack of All Trivia on Facebook. That's how you get in the Trivia League. And then, of course, when we do our matches, it's on YouTube at Jack of All Trivia.
There you go. You can find him at Jack of All Trivia. Mr. Painmaker, where can people find you?
Well, people can definitely look me up around TMG Entertainment. I had just recently did a wrestling debate match against another fellow debater named Ryan, and we had talked about in our discussion which AEW superstar we think could take the belt off Moxley. I argued MJF. He argued Brody Lee. Well, if you guys want to find that out, just go on TMG. And I did another debate on TMG in late TV fights, where we had a very interesting question, and it's definitely in the thumbnail. Which character would you see as a wingman? My opponent picked Mr. Rogers. I picked Yamcha from Dragon Ball Z, just for a fun ass debate. Trust me. You're gonna watch everyone's reactions, watch our arguments. It's the most ridiculous one we've done, and I loved every minute of it. And also, I also have a movie trivia match that's gonna soon debut on Nerd Entertainment Network. So hopefully it's gonna premiere maybe by the end of this weekend or next week. I don't have an idea, but I'm looking forward for that to show. Other than that, you can look at my letterbox, Valentine 316. I'm going to be dropping in some 2 cents on some movies I've recently watched. Mainly like 1917, Destroyer, Vox Lux, Super Troopers 2. And finally, I'm going to rewatch all the Mission Impossible movies, rank them, and then give my 2 cents on them.
All righty. And I'm Matty G. I am the commissioner of the Game Zone debate right here on TMG Entertainment. This week, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special 2-part After Dark. This week, we're going to have the family from Kata Silva's Extreme Horror Experience on because one of our competitors and friend of the channel, Taryn Neal, is going through their experience next weekend. So we're going to have them on, and we're going to be discussing all things horror and the tortures they bring upon people. So keep an eye out for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been through Suplex City, and I hope everybody enjoyed this chat.